All right, friends, it's Simon, and I'm back with a brand new video. So I came across this channel. He has this posting here. It says BP Fitness: How to Build Muscle Without Aging Yourself. So I don't know. I've never come across this channel before. Just the first time I saw this video, so I figured I'll make a reaction to it. So this BP guy says how to build muscle without aging yourself. Yeah, how to build muscle without aging yourself. That's what I do on my channel. That's the whole point. Yeah. Now he's got a picture of Goddess here on the right and some dude here on the left. Lift man-made metal. Okay, lift man-made metal.
So let's talk about how you can build muscle without aging and stressing yourself. Because a lot of us, maybe if you're tapped in.
I like where it says here, working out and carrying excessive muscle can increase aging. Working out periodically does not carrying excessive muscle in myofibrillar growth does not age you. If anything, it reverses aging. It mitigates senescent cells and myogenic decline. It does the opposite. See what I mean? The less you do, the more you get out of it. The more you do, the more you age. Now, if you carry sarcoplasmic muscle, non-contractile proteins, and you work out often, you are carrying excessive amount of sarcoplasmic muscle, then yes, I can see you aging. And because the sarcoplasmic is based on people endurance lifting, these endurance lifters that come in 5 days a week to the gym.
And you watch a bit of Goddess, you know that working out and carrying all this excessive muscle can actually really stress out your body and accelerate your aging. But we still want to have...
Yeah, it can, but it hasn't affected me. It hasn't done that to me because I lift for regeneration. I lift periodically. I don't lift and create sarcomuscles, non-contractile proteins. I'm carrying contractile proteins. They can't age you.
The benefits of having an aesthetic physique, because despite what a lot of the
the benefits of having an aesthetic physique. Well, aesthetic has nothing to do with lifting or bodybuilding. Aesthetic means low body fat. You don't have to lift weights to have low body fat like that guy in the picture. Just do a bunch of jumping jacks all day.
People might
and eat some protein.
Say having a aesthetic muscular physique does make you more attractive, right? Especially in the...
I won't lie, yeah, he's right. It does make you very attractive, very. If you have a very lean physique, that because in men, women have more body fat because that's attractive on women. To have that type of body fat and the way they look, their body, the curvatures of their body. On men, it looks much better with low body fat because it reflects muscularity. That's what it does.
Brainwash, gym-centric society that we live in. So yeah. Does this mean that we have to just give up on training and not train at all?
Training what? Training for what exactly? He just said aesthetic physique. That has nothing to do with training. But what are you training for?
Well, there's nuance to it, right? There's nuance because not all exercises stress your body in the same way, and not all exercises will develop your body in the same way.
What do you mean by stressing? You mean you can stress a muscle cell without getting it damaged? So stressing muscle cells. What happens if you put enough stress? Compound movement can put stress on your body without causing micro damage. Okay, and what about it? If protein synthesis does not exceed that breakdown, then you're not going to see any growth at all.
Let's say you do 2 sets of 6 to 10 lateral raises at 1 rep in reserve. Right, when you do lateral raises, even if you go all the way to failure, let's say to 10 reps to failure, it's not really going to feel like much, right? I actually did this yesterday where I did the seated lateral raise machine, and I literally did 3 sets to failure in the 6 to 10 rep range. And it literally felt like nothing, right? I wasn't fatigued at all. Afterwards, I felt like I haven't even done anything at all. Because lateral raises, right, and I'll talk about exercise selection in a second.
They're not damaging, dude. Lateral raises. They're concentric Man, there's no eccentric there. Look at your arms going up and down. It's partial rep.
Especially if you do like a not train to failure, they're not very fatiguing at all. But they will actually have the biggest impact on your physique because they'll build up your lateral deltoids. And when you
Yeah, they will. What would they build up there? Non-contractile proteins because it's not damaging. The exercise is not damaging. What will you build up there exactly? What type of muscle?
build up your lateral deltoids,
And here's the thing. Will you build anything? Oh, yeah, eating carbohydrates, right? Slave food, peasant diet. What the majority of people do when they lift in the gym.
it creates the illusion of wider clavicles. And that's the whole purpose.
Exactly. There's the word. Creates the illusion that you have muscle, sarcoplasmic muscle. You got wider clavicles. Now you have to maintain it all the time by doing those stupid ass lifts to maintain this phony look. Now, it's not going to build your clavicles or anything like that. What built it was the food that you were eating. Notice him on the left and on the right. He looks different because a lot of it has to do with bone structure and stuff. You have to eat to look a certain way. So he thinks that he'll build muscle to give the illusion that he has good genetics when he has poor genetics. A lot of people do this. They have poor genetics. They were malnourished. Now their environment has destroyed them. And now they want to go to the gym to lift to correct these problems, make corrections. It can only take you so far.
That we train in the first place, because the whole goal of training in the gym is to create the illusion of a wider and bigger.
Yes, to create the illusion that you have good genetics. That's why people go to the gym, because they were malnourished and they got shit genetics now because they fucked their genetics. They didn't fully mature. And so now they want to go to the gym to make up for the lack of nutrients they ate, the slave food diet that they're eating. But then they're still continuing in that behavior. Then they create the illusion that they have muscles when it's all non-contractile. That's another problem.
Skeleton. On the other hand, you have, this is Tom Platz, and you can find this video on YouTube.
Or a lot of these guys ate too much spaghetti. Spaghetti makes you fat, and then they want to get aesthetic physiques.
Tom Platz doing 325-pound squats for 30.
Tom Platz is taking steroids, you asshole. Fuck it, man. You can't see that or what? What's the matter with you, blind? Plus, he's doing full range, pretty much almost a full range of motion here. Pretty much almost ass to grass. I don't see his butt touching his heels, but whatever. But it's you do full. You get a. Here's the thing with squat. You could get compound and muscle damage at the same time in your legs doing squats.
Reps. So if you do something like this, where you just take a bar, put on your back, and squat for 20, 30, 40 reps, then it's going to be way more fatiguing. You can actually see in the video that he's kind of turning a bit purple.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You try doing it in a full range of motion and see if you could fucking lift 500 pounds. You won't. But you could do it in a partial rep, though, concentrically.
I think that might just be the video, though, but it's definitely super fatiguing. And you're going to feel like dying afterwards, right? You're not going to be able to walk afterwards. You're going to be super dizzy, and it's going to stress out your body massively.
I don't think so. It hasn't happened to me, but whatever. It's all relative. Depends. Listen, man, if protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown, if you're in anabolism, in an anabolic growth state, eating a lot of protein, believe me, that's not going to affect you. That so-called stress will be relieved because you've suppressed the catabolic hormones in your body. All the anabolic hormones are sky high right now. So there's going to be very minimal stress to your body and you. You'll be in a growth state the whole time.
And if you do something like the squats, then it's not going to build up your body in the most aesthetic way, right? Because when you build up the muscle...
Yes, it will. It'll build up your legs. Oh, aesthetic way. You mean lose body fat? Yeah, you're not building an aesthetic physique. Again, aesthetic means low body fat, has nothing to do. Muscle, that's totally separate.
In your legs, it's not the most bang for your buck in terms of improving your appearance. So
sure it is. If you want growth, if you want like massive growth, you want to do squats. It's a compound and damaging exercise.
Obviously, there's nuance to this, right? And if you structure your training in the right way, where you pick the right exercises and do the correct programming.
Here's the thing. You can stop the aging in your exercise regime. If you're moving to build your body, you can stop it very simply. You simply break your body on the day down. You break it down once, and then you build it the rest of the week. So protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown. You're in an anabolic growth state. None of that is going to affect you. You're not going to age. If anything, you're going to regenerate. Get it? It does the opposite. But if you come in often breaking your body, then you're aging and you're not regenerating. Get it? You get it, dudes? And you're building like fucking non-contractile proteins, giving the illusion.
You can get pretty much all the benefits of having a muscular aesthetic physique. Right? You can get all the benefits of having this physique whilst minimizing the actual stress that you place on your body.
Yeah, you can by coming in periodically, damaging on the day, and then the rest of the week focusing on what? Regenerating muscle and getting younger and stronger. Fuck. Is that hard to understand or what?
Because again, right, when you do lateral raises, you can tell how stressful something is just by feeling it, right? When you do 2 to 3 steps.
Yeah, but if let's say you're in an anabolic growth state, you're eating a lot, that you're anabolic. So what's stress? What's stress exactly? Like, how could you feel stressful if you're getting bigger and stronger? Every time you come back bigger and stronger, the stress is completely relieved.
Of lateral raises, and afterwards it literally felt like you've done nothing because they're so not stressful. Like
there's a lot of these like asshole people on the internet, like this fucking guy on this channel. He'll regurgitate the same peasant slave mentality in fitness, like something has to do with weights, has stress, and it's going to build your body or something, or change your physique, aesthetic physique and all that. What's aesthetic physique? A malnourished physique. A malnourished physique is an aesthetic physique. Get it? You understand me? Now, I'm not saying it doesn't look attractive to have low body fat, right? But a malnourished physique, is that attractive to women? I don't know exactly. Could be, maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's all relative. They're more attracted to men that are tall, built, like naturally built, like from not being malnourished and having big bones. That's what they're looking at, and a muscular face and a pretty face. That's all. You have to look a certain way like you weren't malnourished. But a lot of these people, they look malnourished. They got malnourished bodies. And so women don't really find that attractive. You understand me? Malnourishment is not attractive, really.
It feels like you've done nothing. But when you've done this 30 rep set of squats, it feels like you're dying. So you can actually just minimize the stress that you do in your training while still building up your physique and getting all the right areas. And specifically, right, with the lateral deltoids, you don't actually need that much muscle to look good, right? If you're doing training legs like this, you're carrying like all this muscle on your legs, but
you're gonna look better if you have some muscle on your body, because then you're gonna look nourished. And then if you have some low body fat with more muscle to go, you could get away with it. But if you're so skinny, skinny and then getting more skinny, whatever, losing body fat, you look malnourished.
You only need a little bit of muscle in your shoulders to improve how you look as well. So how do we do this? Well, we have to do science-based training, and specifically this concept of minimizing fatigue. So in the science-based training world, there's this idea of
science-based training, okay.
Minimizing fatigue, where
that's it.
You're minimizing the muscle damage.
That's the key. Yeah, that's the trick. Minimizing, okay.
You're minimizing the systematic fatigue that you put on your body, so that you can recover better and train more and make the best.
So recover and train more, yeah. So you can accelerate aging instead of grow and train less and grow more. Okay.
Gains. And the way we're going to use this is we're going to use the same concept of minimizing fatigue from science-based training, but we're going to use it to minimize the stress that we put on our body during training. Because obviously minimizing fatigue is just minimizing the stress you put on your body, right? How tired you feel afterwards is an indicator. And by the way, if you do this correctly, you should never feel exhausted after a workout, right? If you do all of this correctly, and that's what I've been doing as well. Because in the past when I worked out, I would do all the 4 sets of squats, 4 sets of Romanian deadlifts, and then bench press and all of that. And afterwards, I would feel super tired and I would just feel exhausted. But nowadays, because of the way I structure my training, it's like after I finish the workout, I don't really feel much at all. Like I don't really feel that fatigued at all, which is a good thing because I've minimized the stress that I put my body through. So how are we going to do this? Well, first step is exercise selection, like I talked about over here, right? When we do more isolated exercises, so instead of doing a heavy overhead press or heavy deadlift, heavy squats and stuff like that, we focus on isolations. We're minimizing the fatigue, right? Because after you finish doing lateral raises, it feels like nothing. And another good example is chest supported rows, right? Instead of doing
that was the idea of bodybuilding, to relieve the stress. That's why everything's isolated. It relieves the stress because you're damaging muscle fibers by moving your arms or your extremities and parts of your body up and down. The whole point in bodybuilding is to damage muscles. Now, when they compound exercises, lift a heavy weight, that's not based on muscle damage. That's why power lifters, they don't look astronomically big. They don't look big. Bodybuilders, they could get big, especially when protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown and you damage those muscle fibers. They come back bigger and stronger because you're growing more myofibrillars. And powerlifting, I don't know what's going on there. There's a disruption in the cell. There's a stress to the cell stressing or whatever they call it. Yeah, cell swelling, stressing. They don't look astronomically massive. But now Olympic lifting does a lot of damaging exercises comparable to bodybuilding. But whatever, man, it's all relative, dude. Really, it's damaging exercises are the best. There's less stress because you're working on a body part at a time.
Bend over row, where we're fatiguing all of the muscles in our lower back, glutes, hamstring.
Yeah, I don't want to fatigue anything. I want to damage it. That's the whole point of bodybuilding.
Posterior chain. We just use a chest-supported machine, and we're only training the parts that we care about. And when you do chest-supported rows, you'll find that it's way less fatiguing than doing a barbell row. And again, if it's way less fatiguing, then it's way less stressful on your body. And also, with exercise selection, you have to understand that some muscle groups, you don't have to train every muscle in your body, right? Obviously, if you want to train every muscle in your body, then sure. But if you're just trying to look good, then you don't have to train every single muscle, and especially the legs, right? You don't have to be doing all those leg exercises because legs in general, again, this is for a whole different video, but they don't actually make you look that good. And you're really just stressing your body out. So you have to really decide, do you actually want to have big legs, or are you just satisfied with the size of the legs you have now? If you're satisfied with the size of your legs right now, then honestly, you can feel free to just stop training them and just save yourself the stress of training legs. And also exercise selection, right? I would urge you to lean on the side of using machines because they're just way faster, right? You can just flick a switch and they're just way less fatiguing in general, right? I've been doing when I was training legs, I switched from doing squats to a selectorized leg press machine, and it's way faster and it's just way less fatiguing as well. Like after I do like a few sets of squats, I will feel super tired, super fatigued afterwards. But after I do a few sets of the seated leg press, it felt like I didn't do that much at all. So exercise selection, try and do isolations, machines where you have some kind of support, right? Do seated presses, don't do standing presses, do chest supported rows, that kind of stuff. Next thing is volume. So with volume, right, the past volume recommendations has actually been way higher than what we need that we know right now. So in the past, it was recommended that you do 10 to 20 sets a week every muscle. So that might be 10 to 20 sets of biceps, 10 to 20 sets of triceps, and then 10 to 20 sets of back a week. But now with modern science-based training, you actually find that you only need 4 to 6 sets a week. And 4 to 6 sets, this is, excuse me, this is even more effective if you can actually spread these sets out to a higher frequency. So instead of doing 3 sets twice a week, you do 2 sets 3 times a week. The second one is actually going to be way more effective. Well, not way more, but just substantially more effective because you have higher frequency, even though the total volume is the same. And you can see again, right, we're minimizing fatigue, which is minimizing the stress we put on our body. So instead of going to the gym doing like 5 sets, 6 sets of bench presses and stuff like that, we can really just do 1 to 2 sets every exercise as well. And we're really getting probably better results, right? Because a bunch of people have been switching to this low volume approach, and they find that they're actually getting better gains and less fatigue than they have before, because now they can actually recover. And next thing, right, this all ties in, is the rep range. So instead of doing high rep ranges like 15, 20 reps, it's actually less fatiguing to do low rep ranges like 4 to 8 reps. Because when you do high rep sets, like, a set of 20 to failure, you're getting what's called calcium ion fatigue. So as you do a high rep set, the calcium ions are actually accumulating in your muscles, and this actually just makes it take longer for you to fully recover. And yeah, and you can actually just imagine this, right? If you do a set of 20 reps to failure, the last 5, 6 reps are going to be really hard. Whereas if you do 8 reps to failure, then maybe the last 3 reps are going to be really hard.
Wow, man, none of this really matters, but whatever. This guy's really boring me.
You're going to get more stimulating reps, and I can talk about the stimulating.
You're getting stimulating reps to what? To break down your body and damage it and get old. Okay. That's great.
Reps model for another day.
Sure, yeah.
And it's going to stress your body way less. And it has
stress ages you. Stress your body. Listen to what he says. It'll stress you less, but nevertheless, it's going to stress you. The whole point is to stress once, but to build all the time. And that stress will be meaningless. But he wants you to keep stressing yourself. Okay. Go ahead. Keep stressing yourself. Pretend like you're building something by stressing. It's just stupid.
It's been a secret to actually feeling not exhausted after a workout, because
workout?
Don't do like.
Did you work out? You went to the factory. Did you work out? Yeah.
10 sets a week. Just do 4 to 6.
Whatever.
I was friends with him in high school, and we started talking, and we found out that we both watched Godus as well. And he said he's gonna go to a farm and try and get some
Godus. I like this raw meat. It's great organs and all that. Yeah.
blood, which if he does, that'd be pretty awesome as well.
Beef
and if he can get blood, yeah, chug that as well. But
beef blood's amazing.
Obviously, for most of us, it's gonna be a bit harder to get blood. And lastly, right, if you want to.
It's not hard to get blood. Go to your local Asian market. I have it here. I can show you.
In my private Discord server, whether it's paleo or like the actual autogenous Wonder Planet diet. So if you're interested in that, you can join the Discord server and have some discussion.
Paleo and all that's fake. I'll see you in the next one, friends. What you think about that? Like, subscribe, support the channel. It's ridiculous stuff.